guys, welcome to Iona College's NFL Roundtable. I'm your host Amanda Boyle, and with me, Kenny Reischmann and Jon Stanko to highlight Week 4. So guys, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers versus the St. Louis Rams. Ken, you won this one.
I did. I had the Niners going in from the start, coming off a bad week against the Colts. I thought it was important that they got back to their winning ways. Kaepernick had his best week of the season. Their defense was back to Harbaugh defense, right on the quarterback at all times, bum rushing them whenever they can. Their defense was phenomenal. Their offense was phenomenal. They were the 49ers that everybody has been waiting to see. And it's about time because they just came off 2 back-to-back weeks where they struggled to move the football upfield. Colin Kaepernick had, without a doubt, his best week of the season, and that should, without any sort of problem in the future, he should be fine moving forward.
I wouldn't say Kaepernick's week was better than Week 1, where he had over 400 yards passing.
That's fair.
But it was more of a fundamentally good week. He did a good job. He didn't make any stupid decisions all game, which was great. Sam Bradford, on the other hand, made numerous bad throws, and you saw the first half he had 4 or 5 bad throws. He threw his first interception of his career against San Francisco at home. Before that, the reason I picked St. Louis was Bradford had so much success against the 49ers. At home, he had a 2-0 record with 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and I thought he can carry that over with 49ers struggling. Frankly, it wasn't the case.
The Rams' defensive line played like duty, and it was
good word.
Thank you. It was soft. It was real soft, and the Niners were having no trouble getting pressure on Bradford.
Exactly.
When the offensive line isn't there, then picks happen and turnovers, and that's what happened last night.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward into hot topics. John, you're taking this one. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Josh Freeman benched.
Yeah, Mike Glennon is going to start a rookie quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucs, and you know what? I think it's a great decision by Greg Schiano and the entire coaching staff. From what I've heard from reports is that Freeman has lost the locker room completely, and then he went on and did an interview with ESPN about his situation, about him wanting to get traded. Why would you do that interview when you already lost your locker room and you were fighting for a job? It doesn't give any GM or anyone the confidence that you're going to change. I think it's smart by Tampa Bay to sit in because they need to start fresh, and I think that means that Doug Martin is going to get tons of touches this week upcoming. But Josh Freeman, I'm really disappointed in what he's done.
Well, I'm also disappointed in what he's done, but I think the reason why he did that interview is because of what we're doing right now. We're talking about him.
That's true.
People know Josh Freeman now. He wasn't necessarily a household name before all of this happened. Now people talk about Josh Freeman, and that is his end game as a superstar or just a star in the National Football League as a quarterback. Quarterbacks are king, and he's showing why he is king. And he's doing the publicity. He's getting his name out there. People know Josh Freeman. People are going to know what he's up to.
Well, another thing in the media publicity is the DUI. Do you want to talk about this, Ken?
Aldon Smith made a huge mistake, and he wasn't the only one. The San Francisco 49ers organization should be totally ashamed of what they did last Sunday. Letting this man play 2 days after he was arrested for driving over the legal limit, twice over the legal limit. 2 days later, he played a child's game. He played football. He made 5 tackles in a football game. This is disgusting. There is no place for this in the National Football League or in grown-up sports or in grown-up life. Aldon Smith should be ashamed of himself. The San Francisco 49ers should be disgusted with themselves, and none of this has a place in football.
I completely agree with everything you said. I don't think he should have played last Sunday. Now, the claim from Coach Harbaugh was that it was too early for him to be put away and isolated like that. I don't agree with it. He's a grown man. He should deal with it. But credit to him for going into rehab voluntarily.
Right.
Credit to him for that. The team didn't make him do it. He did that on his own, and he made a statement. It was the right choice to do. He didn't play last night against the Rams, and you saw San Francisco was fine.
And good for him.
Yes.
And good for him. And you know what? And I really have no tolerance for things like this, especially in the National Football League, where there's such programs as if you're drunk, you can call a taxi for free, and it will take you wherever you need to go in the country. It will take you wherever you need to go for free if you are in the National Football League. There should be no tolerance for things like this, and it shouldn't have had to it should not have had to be a voluntary action on his part. It should have been mandated, and it should have been enforced by the Niners.
Well, speaking of alcohol, the Jacksonville Jaguars, is that my correct?
Yes.
Yes. They are offering incentives as giving their fans free beer for purchasing a ticket. John, you want to take
Let
this
me
away?
just tell you how happy I am that this is happening. It's so unconventional, but yet so smart at the same time. Because why do football fans go to games? To have a good time. And the fact of the matter is, if you've been to a football game, you know,
get drunk,
there are a lot of people intoxicated.
Yeah.
And might it spell trouble? Yes. But it's gonna, in my opinion, it's gonna get people
in the
there.
seats, yeah.
Exactly.
And they're gonna need some help with that.
They are, and their team is struggling. They're awful. Blaine Gabbert is starting back at quarterback this week, which I think is a downgrade from Chad Henne, who was playing.
Wow.
As much as you want to call that a downgrade.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a downgrade or an upgrade.
Exactly.
In that quarterback tandem, there's not really an up or down. It's more of just like a plane.
But I think, you know what, they're trying to get fans there, and you know what, good for them. They're doing everything they can. The only thing they can do more is sign Tim Tebow, which isn't going to happen.
Oh, gosh. I don't want to
Who
talk
do you
about
think's
it.
going to pick up Tebow?
Zero.
No.
Nobody's going to sign Tebow.
Nobody. You know
It's
why?
too
Because
bad.
he's not a good
He's got
National Football
talent.
League player. No, he doesn't. He
was-
doesn't. He
I'll give
really
him
doesn't.
college.
He was a great college football
All
player.
right. Well, speaking of disappointment, since that's a disappointment on my end, what team do you think has been most disappointing, Ken?
Well, I hate bringing it back to the hometown, but I'm going to have to bring it back to the hometown. The New York Giants have been playing absolutely awful football over the first 3 weeks of the season, and it's probably going to continue through week 4, playing a good Kansas City Chiefs team. Their offensive line has been duty, as we've talked about before. Their defensive line has been duty. Their secondary has been picked apart by any team with a breathing quarterback. Their backfield has less rushing yards than I do. Eli Manning has more picks than every other quarterback in the National Football League, and the list goes on and on.
So Giants, we're going Giants.
Giants.
The biggest disappointment.
For all those
What about
reasons,
you?
I completely agree with him.
Okay.
I think, you could choose between the Redskins and the Steelers, but you knew they had troubles going in. You knew RG3 wasn't healthy, and you knew the Steelers had no offense. It's definitely the Giants. Akeem Nicks has done nothing so far this season. He's been an absolute huge bust. Victor Cruz, he's done fine. He's earning his money, but Eli Manning isn't.
Nope.
He's not playing well, but I think he'll play better once they get a run game. But when they get a run game, who knows?
Yeah. And it all comes back to, Eli doesn't have enough time. The offensive line isn't giving him the time he needs to make his throws. He's a National Football League quarterback. He's a superstar in this league.
He's won 2 Super Bowls.
He
should know.
needs to make a pass.
Yeah.
He needs to
Him
complete a
and
pass.
his offensive line, though, I think they have a big part to do with it.
I agree. However, he's a superstar quarterback in the National Football League. He makes his own time.
You gotta
That's the
deliver.
thing. With the Redskins and the Steelers, you could point out like 1 or 2 areas they need to improve. With the Giants, there's so many, you can't pinpoint which one's the worst one.
And it's not helping that Eli Manning's having the worst season of his career.
Thus far.
Well, let's reverse that. Let's talk about who's having a great season. Do we have any good expectations, teams that have surprised us?
I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
I think last week was a big statement on my part for them. Like, they really showed me beating the San Diego Chargers, coming back. Jake Locker, 299 passing yards, 68 rushing yards. Where did that come from? Like, people wish they had him on his fantasy team, and that never happens. They are playing really well. Their defense is surprising me a lot. Chris Johnson, he isn't running the ball like over 100 yards every game, but he's being consistent, which he hasn't been in the past. I think they take 75 to 90 yards from every week instead of one game where it's 200, next game where it's 25.
Right.
Jake Locker is throwing the ball a lot better. They're playing conservative offense. I gotta say, the Titans are definitely my most surprising team.
I have to pick my Colts, and I picked them last week to take on the Niners, and they
Credit.
did that for me,
Credit.
and they beat them for me. But I really have to. I have to stick with the Colts here for this category, if not only because the way we talked about them last week is they're not ready to make that run for the Super Bowl yet. They're just not experienced enough. They just, they haven't been there enough. They haven't had that kind of run yet.
Yeah.
They are proving that they can.
Yeah.
By beating a San Francisco 49er team.
In Candlestick.
In Candlestick. That just beat, granted, 5 days later they beat up on the Rams. But still, beating the Niners is not easy. That's not an easy feat to do.
Never is.
And Trent Richardson, who I thought was going to be the game changer in that game against the Niners, had 3 carries. But if Ahmad Bradshaw is going to run for
almost 100 yards.
Almost 100 yards every week with Trent Richardson as the other half of that tandem, they are going to be unstoppable, especially with Luck throwing the football the way he's
Very
throwing.
true.
Most definitely. And then moving forward, talking about highlighted games for this week, we've got the Chicago Bears at the Lions in Detroit.
All right, I'll take this one first. I think it's going to be a tight game. I do. But I think Chicago is going to pull it out. Reggie Bush is going to be back. He's going to be healthy. But the Chicago Bears defense has a way of just getting turnovers. You saw in the second half versus Pittsburgh, they just forced turnovers. And you don't know how they do it. It seems like magic, frankly.
Yeah.
And they have that magic touch, and I think that's what's going to hurt Matthew Stafford. I think he's going to throw at least a couple interceptions. And I think it's going to be really close. I have like 27-24, something like a 3-point range Chicago win.
I'm going to say the Bears as well. I think it'll also be a close game, but that defense, man, is so scrappy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that defense. The Bears have been playing great football. I mean, they showed it again last week against the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
They're going on the road again to Detroit, but I don't think it phases them. Reggie Bush, I mean, he's going to be back. He's going to be healthy, but who knows how effective he'll be in his first game back. So I stick with Jay Cutler, and I stick with the Bears.
Yep.
Very nice. All right.
Bears.
Now we've got the New England Patriots playing in Atlanta against the Falcons.
You can take this one, Kenny.
Let's take
You can get the first
I
one.
am picking the Atlanta Falcons. The reason I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons is because of the offensive struggles of the Patriots. I think they're going to continue to struggle again this week. I think Gronkowski, if he comes back this week, which is presumed, yes,
Yeah, he's been
that
practicing.
it's just not going to click right away. I think that's going to be the issue, that Brady is going to try and overcompensate for all of the misfortunes with the other receivers. Forget about Edelman. Start throwing for Rob. It's not going to click right away. I think they need a week to get back to it. And I think Atlanta, the way their offense has been clicking with Roddy White, with Matt Ryan, I think they're in good shape at home against the Patriots, who I just don't think have the offense for it yet.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with your decision. The reason I say that is because last week I saw a glimpse of what the Patriots offense can be. Kendall Tompkins had 2 touchdowns. Aaron Dobson didn't drop the ball. I think he had 5 or 7 receptions.
And he's too inconsistent for me to bet on, though. You know what I mean?
I can understand where you're coming from, but the reason I say that is that the Falcons' offense, while fantastic, is going up against a secondary for New England who's playing pretty well. Aqib Talib has 3 interceptions already. He's going to be matched up on Julio Jones. And Roddy White has been a ghost so far this season. He hasn't done anything. Fantasy owners know that.
I think he's ready to break out. That's why I think this is the week where Roddy White comes alive. And a Patriots secondary that's always been questionable. Always. In the Belichick era. You never know if they're going to show up or not.
In the past 3 or 4 years, yes. But I think that this week, Brady showed that he can get to his rookie receivers. He trusted them last week. He didn't look for Edelman every single time against the Jets. I think they showed growth.
We'll see how that turns out, though. He might need to look for Edelman.
Well, and if Ryan Tannehill can throw against the Atlanta secondary, I think Tom Brady can.
Well, I don't know. I think I like the Dolphins.
Well, we've got the Dolphins and the Patriots. Moving forward, we've got the Miami Dolphins at New Orleans. Do you know what I call the Dolphins, by the way?
No, I picked the Falcons. Falcons, Patriots, yeah.
Are you calling the Dolphins?
You're just missing up Southern teams.
What are we, Dolphins, Saints?
Dolphins, Saints.
Dolphins, Saints. You know, John asked me to send him my picks earlier today, and I sent Dolphins/Saints because I wasn't sure. I was so proud of my Miami Dolphins for beating the Falcons last week, just as I said. But I don't think they'll be able to do it again this week. I think the Saints are a better team than the Falcons. I think they've proven that over the course of the early part of the season, and I think they're going to prove it again this week, beating down the team that just beat the Falcons last week.
I agree with you. If this is in Miami, I might be going the other way, but it's in the Superdome. Jimmy Graham, another 2-touchdown week last week. He's a monster. He was NFC Offensive Player of the Week, and I think that the Dolphins are going to have trouble stopping him. I think it's going to be close. I mean, I'm glad to see we have 2 good primetime games this week after last week, which was both busts. So this week we got the Atlanta-New England game, and then we got this Dolphins-Saints game. So, but again, it's going to be close. I got like a 3-point, maybe a touchdown win for the Saints.
You know what will be interesting? And I think we're neglecting this conversation completely, but if the Dolphins are able to win this week, we need to take a look at them. For real, a team that can make a run. An actual run in an AFC that has no
superstar team besides Denver.
Right, that hasn't given us the overwhelming AFC that we've seen in the past. That'll be interesting. If they can win this week, they're going to be an interesting team moving forward.
Agreed.
And speaking of Kenny getting a little cocky over here, he's got a reason to. He went 10-6 last week in week 3.
What was that? I didn't hear you.
10-6.
Okay.
Very good for a very tough week.
Meanwhile, John was going 8-8. So overall,
that's not bad. He's staying 500.
It's all right.
2,500 ball, man. Not bad. All right, well, it's not good, but it's not bad.
Well, overall, Kenny, you are sticking out 32-16.
What do I get if I win?
Bragging rights for life.
Do I get my shirt back?
Would you like to tell them how this all...
For those of you who don't know, due to technical difficulties here in the Iona College studio set, we both wore green, which decided to just glimmer on the screen. So we are borrowing the shirts of Kevin and Kyle, who are in the studio. So these are not our clothes.
So
thank you, everyone.
I look like a mobster from Goodfellas.
And this shirt is ridiculously comfortable. So Kyle, well done.
You guys make me seem less high maintenance than my family likes to put me out to be. So I'm loving every minute.
My family doesn't get to see this part until it's on camera.
No, so it's just the men here that have a problem on set. All right, so we're going into our rapid fire round with Sunday's game. We've got the Baltimore Ravens at Buffalo playing the Bills.
Baltimore.
All right, that was easy. Cincinnati Bengals at Cleveland playing the Browns.
Bengals.
Cleveland cannot pull off 2 straight wins. Definitely the Bengals.
Cleveland hasn't pulled off 2 straight wins in years.
We've got the Colts and the Jaguars.
Indianapolis,
lock of the week.
Even though they're away in
Lock of the week.
Jacksonville. You don't
They're
think the
offering
beers are gonna
free
help?
beer. I do not.
The beer might not help. I think the
They're
beer
not
might end up on the field.
Oh, okay. That's a good call. Thank you. We've got the New York Giants in Kansas City playing the Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Giants go to 0-4.
All right.
That's rough.
That is rough.
That's going to be rough.
I mean,
for a
newer
hometown
shells
crowd.
going to revolt.
Honestly, I think that's the lock of the week.
Ooh.
And that's upsetting.
That for Giants fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that might be the lock of the week, even though Jacksonville is really bad. The Giants are also really bad.
That's true.
That just will be a bad game.
Except there's no free beer there.
There is. Pittsburgh Steelers at Minnesota playing the Vikings.
It's a tough one. This one's in Florida, I believe. London, excuse me.
Yeah,
in
so-
London. Why did I say
Oh.
Florida? We were talking about
International
Jacksonville. We were
series.
talking about Le'Veon Bell is coming back for Pittsburgh. Christian Ponder is not playing for Minnesota. Matt Castle is playing. Which, granted,
I do
Christian
love a good
Ponder,
Matt Castle. I'll
Matt
tell you that.
Castle, former glorious Patriot backup,
Yes.
backing up Tom Brady, leading them to an 11-5 season,
But
despite
for
them
the
not making the
playoffs.
playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't
It
make
was
playoffs.
Bill Belichick's best coaching job, and they didn't make the playoffs. But I think Pittsburgh takes this one.
I'm going to pick Minnesota. I love Matt Castle. I don't like Pittsburgh. I don't like them at all. They played like duty last week against the Bears.
Just wait for my bold predictions. I'll tell you when they'll win.
Ooh.
A little bit of foreshadow.
I hate when he does this.
All right, we've got the Arizona Cardinals at Tampa Bay playing the Buccaneers.
Rookie quarterback does not get the win in his first start.
All right.
Arizona.
Okay. Seattle Seahawks at Houston playing the Texans.
This is a tough game.
It is a tough one.
Tough game. I pick Seattle.
I do too. I think Houston, though, is going to want to back from the trouncing they got from Baltimore. But I think Seattle
I think Seattle's too hot right now.
And
too
Richard-
hot and too good, really. They're
Richard
just too
Sherman
talented.
against Andre Johnson, who had a concussion last week. Definitely going with Richard Sherman.
All right. We've got the New York Jets at Tennessee playing the Titans.
Tennessee?
I got Tennessee.
All right. I like this agreement. It's
Yeah.
nice.
No, this one's nice.
Yeah.
I'm
refreshing.
padding my lead.
We've got the Dallas Cowboys playing at San Diego playing the Chargers.
Both quarterbacks are playing phenomenal.
They are.
For a fun fact, both quarterbacks have above 70% completion percentage, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Dallas because they have more weapons offensively.
I have to agree with them as well, Dallas. I've had Dallas from the start as the gem of the NFC East. They've been playing like the gem of the NFC East, and they're gonna do it again this week.
All right. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles at Denver playing the Broncos.
The highest scoring game of the week, I think
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
definitely be, but I'm going to go with definitely Denver.
Definitely Denver.
Over
My boys.
under
Well-
70 combined
Well,
points.
this leads me into my bold prediction.
Oh, well, let's wait till the end. Let's wait till the end.
I'll
All
wait
right.
Let's
We
wait till
got
the
one
end.
more
Let's wait till the
game.
end.
One more game.
Oh, why didn't we make that one
I
last?
know. Got the Washington Redskins at Oakland playing the Raiders.
I think Washington gets their first win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Oakland's really bad at football.
And there's doubts that Terrell Pryor is going to play on Sunday as well. So Matt Flynn's going to get the start. And behind that O-line, Matt Flynn's not mobile. Definitely going with Washington.
So let's segue to these bold predictions.
Bold
Ken, what do
prediction.
you got?
Dun, dun, dun. I got over 75 total points in the Eagles-Broncos game. I got Eli. I got Eli throwing for no touchdowns. I got Peyton throwing for 5 more again this week.
Wow. Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh's going to get the win because Le'Veon Bell is returning from injury for the Steelers, the rookie running back who's going to be their solution offensively. Got to have over 100 yards, and they'll lead them to Pittsburgh to their first win.
Peyton Manning, 5 touchdowns, 350 yards, no picks.
So basically like a week 1 performance.
Like a week 1 performance, except with a few less touchdowns, because that's just too many.
Pretty much.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well,
Let's
like I
go
said, we've got Jon Stanko 30-18, Kenny Reischmann 32-16. Hopefully, week 4 pays off. Until next
Good luck to you.
time, we will see you then. Thanks for tuning in to NFL Roundtable.